All right, folks, listen up, please, because I'm about to hurt some more feelings again. Some people's shorts are going to be, oh man, they're going to be tightened up so tight, you're going to be screaming, some people. So I recommend this for people who don't have any control over their emotions or intelligence. I already lost a few, and I'm really not concerned. Suck it up. Let's talk about earthquakes. The reason why many earthquakes are automatically registered at 10 kilometers depth, there is nothing nefarious about it. They are not military bases being blown up. It's a common fixed depth. Now, sometimes the seismic data is not accurate enough to compute an accurate depth. So it'll be the average. The average actually, used to be 33 kilometers automatically assigned, but they changed it to 10 kilometers. It all depends on how many seismometer system stations are available to triangulate the depth. So often the 10 kilometer depth is assigned. But often the depth is reassigned as they have time to go through the data, just like the magnitudes are changing, plus or minus. Okay. Here's another thing. I've said this before. Some people annoy me. The deepest military base is the one in China at approximately 1.98 kilometers depth, or 1.89 kilometers depth, just under 2 kilometers depth. It is the nuclear command center for China. It's an actual city that can house 1 million people. That is the deepest complex. Now, as for the other comments, like, for example, if there's a deep earthquake in the Tyrrhenian Sea, which is off the coast of Italy, 200, 250, 300, 350 kilometers depth, someone's going to say, oh, they're exploding the dumbs. They're exploding them. How do they get down that deep? Here's another one. Subduction zone earthquakes. Ah, man, they're dumbs. They're blowing up the dumbs. Why would they be so stupid to put a military base at a subduction zone, the most dangerous plate interface in the world? Knock it off. I should have done my count. Hang on a minute. Okay, 5,000 friends and 24,788 people. So we'll watch that number go down after this video. Let's continue to talk about earthquakes. The standard methodology for forecasting earthquakes by somebody no longer applies. The seismic energy doesn't always follow those little red arrows on the map. There's changes going on in the inside of our planet because of the electromagnetic connection with sail. To answer another lady's question, has there been an increase in earthquakes? Absolutely, 100%. In fact, they started about 1 to 2 years ago to include earthquakes in diverse places where we normally do not have earthquakes, and not all of them were on fault zones. Also to include a lot more deep earthquakes where they normally don't have deep earthquakes. This is a repeat. In April 2024, there were 12 or 13 deep earthquakes in a 36-hour period in Central America. They never had deep earthquakes before. The list goes on. So yes, there absolutely is an increase in seismic events. And for anybody else who pulls up the USGS earthquake map and says, oh, there's no increase in earthquake activity. The USGS is not the only reporting agency. There's a great many more that reports on earthquakes. Third, deep earthquakes no longer result in larger, shallower earthquakes, period. I challenge anybody to take the last 100 deep earthquake events and show me a substantial larger earthquake at a shallower depth. The earth is changing inside. A lot of the earthquakes happen, let's say between 50 and 250 kilometers deep. That is the thickness of the lithosphere. So in order of the layers of the planet, we have the inner core, the outer core, lower mantle, upper mantle, ascenosphere, lithosphere, the crust. So the mantle plume heads come to the underside of the lithosphere, which varies in thickness. So the oceanic lithosphere could be 40, 50 kilometers thick. The actual crust is on average 6 kilometers thick. So we have that action underneath the lithosphere. Continuing in depth from 410 to 660 kilometers depth, right about here is called the mantle transition zone, where deep earthquakes are also common. What else annoys me? About earthquakes. So I can spend years explaining these things to you as I do. So the wackos sitting back in their armchairs who do absolutely nothing. What's a deep underground military base being blown up? Come on, people. And you know what? It takes a couple of minutes to research it yourself. Just, you hurt my feelings.